In this video, I'm going to show you how to take your action figure posing from this and turn it into this. Alright man, in this video, we're going to be discussing posing action figures, okay? And I feel like you probably fall somewhere on the spectrum. I feel like this is a spectrum, right? You have one end that does not give a crap about the posing whatsoever. You'll collect statues. You do not care. Doesn't have to have any articulation, really. You're like, you know what? I just like the figure. I think it looks cool, whatever. And then you have the other end of the spectrum where you're like, I want to be able to do a package pile driver and have all the articulation available and be able to do the exact poses that you see on TV, and you want them to be super dynamic. You even probably want some posing, like if we're talking about Spider-Man or something like that, you want that posing to be almost comic-like or movie-like, where, probably somebody's body can't necessarily do those things in real life, but I mean, it's a superhero. It's somebody that can really warp reality, if we're being honest, right, by the way that they can move and things like that. But today, specifically, this channel is mostly about wrestling figures, so we're going to be diving into some wrestling figures, and I'm just going to show you how to pose your WWE figures, whether you're needing it for a display, maybe you're doing it for a fit or stop motion or something like that, man. We're going to dive into it today. And what it is, man, this is just a prime example. Let's just take this Ultimate Edition Shawn right here. I really wish they'd give us this, man. Look at this. It's like a 2004 Ultimate Edition Shawn Michaels, and he looks absolutely sick anyways. So a lot of people, when they do a super kick, if they don't really have any, like experience posing, or, they're just trying to get the best that they can do or whatever, they'll just kind of throw it up there, and they'll bring their foot up, and then they'll just kind of, lean him this way, and they're like, yep, there you go. Here's a super kick, just like that. This is good. Which, you know what, man? If this is the best you can do and you don't really care that much, yeah, that's fine, whatever. But if you really want to upgrade your posing and you want it to be good, or you want it to be better, then this is what I would suggest. So this is the best tip that I learned back in the day, and I used to get bullied relentlessly for my posing. Isn't that kind of ridiculous? Like, when you look back at it, it was ridiculous at the time, but I got cyberbullied so hard for posing that it was ridiculous. It was crazy. It was absolutely insane, and it was a time. What a time to exist that was. But basically, a good tip that I heard, and I can't even remember who deemed this. It may have been somebody in the articulated comic book art realm, which is a kind of its own toy photography community where they come together and people pose their action figures and create their own photography. It's really cool. Anyways, I think it was somebody from that community, but take every joint. So every joint on this figure, you have the ball joint in the neck, you have the butterfly joint here, you have the shoulders up here, you have the bicep cut, you have the double jointed arm, you have the wrist hinge and swivel, you have this diaphragm here, you have the waist, right? You have every single joint on this figure, the leg, the thigh cut, all of it, right? Every single joint that is available, use it. And what I mean by that is, okay, I have the ball joint in the head, I need to pose that. I need to take the diaphragm, I need to pose that. I need to bring the arm, I need to probably slap the leg or whatever, so I'm going to articulate that. Bring the leg up, bend the knee, articulate the foot in the right place. Maybe push this foot out just a hair right here, and then I'm here. And then, okay, with this offhand, I can go up here, articulate, get this in position. All right, now I got to get the stance leg. Get that here, get a good base. And right there, that is already 10 times better than what we had before, where it was real stiff. You don't want it to look so stiff. You want it to look free-flowing. You want it to look like television. Now, that is another really good tip that I would use. The one tip is obviously to use every single joint that you can. Use every single joint that you can so that you can, your figure does not look stiff. That's the point number one. Point number two is mimic what you see on TV, man. Look up videos, look up photos of them performing the moves, and then match the photo with the figure that you have here. So Shawn Michaels, you would Google Shawn Michaels sweet chin music, and then you would take the videos or the photos that you see, and you would try to copy that. I mean, there you go. So there's kind of a decent little sweet chin music that we have right there. Not perfect, but it's okay, okay? Another one that is pretty common is a running pose. I'm going to use this Rey Mysterio for a running pose. A lot of people don't understand. They always make... So when you're actually running, a good person to copy running is Captain Falcon. If nobody knows who Captain Falcon is, I think he has perfect running form, okay? I know he's not real, but he has perfect running form. The way that he runs is perfect running form. If you want to run your absolute fastest, run like Captain Falcon. Anyways, a lot of people will run and they'll have the arm and the foot going at the same spot. Like, they'll do it like this. Nobody runs like this, okay? Nobody runs like this. Nobody runs with the same leg, same arm forward and backwards. Try it right now. You will look like an absolute moron. You'll feel very uncoordinated. It is not how the body moves. You do not run like this. Nobody and their mom runs like this, okay? What you want is opposite. So if I want Rey Mysterio to run, okay, Doesn't matter, you can go this foot forward or this foot forward. I naturally, for whatever reason, always have the left foot coming forward. I don't know if it's because I'm a lefty. Kicking wise, I'm a lefty. So I don't know if that's why, but you can let me know if yours is different. But you want to have that left leg coming forward, have that right knee bent back like this. Have a ab crunch, I think it kind of depends, but for this one, I guess we'll crunch it forward a little bit. Now, the opposite. You want the opposite arm of the leg forward. So if this leg is forward, the opposite arm needs to be forward. Okay, like this right here. So that what would that mean for this back leg? The opposite arm should be what? It should be back. So look, it should be like this. So now, when he's running, bang. See that? Looks like the damn Flash. Looks like he's getting some stuff done. And of course you can tweak this. You can get the head up a little bit right there if they have some range in the neck, just like that. And look at that, have that slight lean forward. Now if you use a figure stand or something, you could probably get him in the air a little bit, and that'd probably help. Or you could bend this back leg up a little bit. Also, depending on what figure it is, you can articulate that foot up like this, and now you're really cooking right there. If I can get him to balance, you can really sink into that. And it looks like he's really leaning forward. Yeah, that ain't half bad right there. Not half bad, but you can see the vision. You can see the vision right there. So this looks a lot more natural. It looks like he's actually running towards you, does it not? That is how you do a running pose. That's a proper running pose. Now, this will probably work on a lot of figures, depending on who it is. Now, if you want to, you could look up in real life how they run and then try to mimic that. I think that also works as well. But running posing, I see a lot of people struggling with the running pose. Look at that right there, dude. That is pretty decent. That is pretty decent running pose right there. I like that for Rey Mysterio. If you want to come through, that is a decent little natural running stance that you can copy or whatever. But carry over those same principles that you've learned here. That way you can carry those over into your own collection. So there you go. There's a running stance. Another good one. Another good one is going to be what else was I going to do? I think I was going to do a spear. Another good one is a spear. Now this could work for Braun Breaker. This could work for Roman Reigns. This could work for Edge. I mean, there's so many people that use a spear nowadays, but a lot of people struggle with the spear as well. And I'm going to try to make it where this person stands up. So we're going to take this Jey Uso. Now, if you're talking about your victim, the person that's getting speared, you want to have them obviously lean forward, because when they're getting hit, they are obviously going to be leaning forward. You wouldn't do this. You wouldn't have them leaning back. If they were leaning back, that would mean they're getting hit in the back, right? Because you would get hit in the back and you go bang. If you get hit in the stomach, you would go boom, like that. So we're trying to sell that force that is coming in right here. All right, so then we would take our Jey Uso, and we're going to have one leg kicked out. This Jey Uso is a great looking figure, but God, he is stiff as hell. Anyways, we're going to have that one leg out there, kind of like this right there. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for now. This is what we want as our base. Then we're going to take Roman Reigns right here, and we're going to turn him slightly, lean over a little bit, and what you want to do is you want his head to go right on his hip right there. Perfect form tackle is what we're going for, just like in football, okay? Just like in football, we want a perfect form tackle. They used to teach head across the body. I don't think they teach that anymore, to be honest with you. I think they're talking about near hip and all kinds of different stuff, which I know a lot of you don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. Anyways, wrapping around right there. You want this arm to scoop this leg, okay? So, see, head across, wrapping around, got the slight bend. This arm is picking this leg up, okay? Now, what you want is you want this back leg right here to rest on the ground. Like that right there. See that? He's in the air. That's going to support us there. Now what we got to do is we need to bring this leg forward, the left leg, come forward on Roman, and then have this back leg bent like this. So this is what we want right there. This is not half bad. Again, I'm speed running this a little bit here. I'm doing this all in real time. Could it be better? Probably. I'm just kind of showing you the guideline, and then it's up to you to kind of fix that. Now, this is Big E boots. This isn't Ultimate Edition boots. If he has Ultimate Edition boots, you could probably articulate that toe and make it a little bit better, but this is what we have for now, and that is not bad. This is kind of our spear pose, and that's not half bad right there. Pretty decent little spear pose that you can use for your Roman Reigns or other characters. But you could see head across, scooping the leg. You could also do it on the other side too. So you can you just flip it. So this leg would be your rest leg. This leg would be in the air. This leg would be back, and then this leg would be on the ground, and then you'd flip the Roman Reigns onto the other side. It's completely possible. I just like so if you're doing a spear, I think the person delivering the spear, their head needs to be on the side that's facing the camera or facing the viewer. Just think it's the best way to do it that way. I don't know. That's just what I think. What do I know, though? But anyways, there you go. There's a good Roman Reigns spear pose for you, or Braun Breaker or whoever. Again, it could slightly change depending on who the character is or whatever. Just kind of look up your reference material. You could also bend this leg back depending on how bad you want it delivered, and you can lean him back more and put more onto that, onto this toe joint back here. And again, it's going to require some patience, some time, whatever. Again, you may want to use a stand. Just depends on what exactly you're going for, but there you go. You understand the vision. You get what I'm talking about. Another one, I mean, if you're talking about people resting on people's shoulders, there's some other things you can do. So let's just take this John Cena right here. If I wanted to load somebody up on his shoulders, let's just use the CM Punk. I'll take his hat off for now. Oh my god, his whole head came off. Alright, let's see. Dang, that doesn't really stick on there that great anyways. So let's take this new CM Punk right here. So what you want to do is you want to spread his arms out right here. This is like pre-AA. I'll show you how to do the full AA. This will be the last one we'll do here today. But what you want to do is the person on the shoulders, you don't want to just load him on here like this. Look how stiff he looks. You see how stupid that looks? It just doesn't look good. So what you want to do is this arm of Cena needs to hook behind the knee of this. So you need to push this leg forward and then kind of bend that. So this is the groove in which the hand is going to sit. Then you want to forward crunch the ab, and then you may even want to rotate it just a hair, and then pull the shoulder down, and then right here, and then the same thing here. So kind of like this, all right? Kind of like he's sitting in a chair or falling into an abyss. Okay, pose him like he's falling into an abyss, like he's falling into the under, okay? Then you're going to plop him just like this. Look at that right there. You see how that works? Just onto the shoulders. Now, you got to take your Cena arms, and you want the hands to grip the back of the head or the back of the neck right here on CM Punk. Have this arm dangling just down here. Other arm dangling in the back. This other leg, remember, we want this hand to cuff right around this knee, just like that. And then this back leg can just kind of, right here, just kind of make it look loose fitting, and then boom. Now that he's loaded up, now you can, depending on what you do, if you want him standing straight up, okay, you want him standing straight up. But if you want him to bend down, you're going to have to bend the knees here and sink into that AA. And you can also articulate the feet. So if you push the feet forward, he'll sink down deeper into that squat pose, okay, like that, just like that. And then he's going to launch him. So how John Cena does the AA is not, he pulls the opponent's head off, of course. Anyways, I would recommend doing Cena first. So you're going to have Cena here. You want him to turn slightly. Bring this arm. You want this one to be your pushover hand, and you want this arm to be your head kind of curling. So this is going to be a pillow for the head of the opponent. You're going to turn him sideways like this, and then point this toe. So like that right there. See that? It looks like he's kind of throwing a guy over. Just like that, okay? Now my victim, we're going back to that falling into the abyss pose right here, right? So he's going to be turned like this because he's getting flipped over. Push these forward like this, and then look, the arm of Cena is going to hook the neck of CM Punk. The back arm behind CM Punk is going to hug the neck of the Cena like that, and then Cena is going to have it like that right there, and that is midair. This is our kind of midair AA, as you can see right there. Hold up, I gotta fix the camera, but you can see, the vision. So see, he picks him up and then boom. Now, obviously on the last one, he would be standing, and then CM Punk would be either midair or he'd hit the ground or whatever, but you see what I'm talking about. But that is what I wanted to talk about today. Just a few moves. And I mean, not necessarily talking about the moves specifically. I just wanted to show you how to pose your figures, how to get the most out of these figures and put them on your display. Now, if you're going for more vanilla poses and stuff like that, maybe we can make a separate video where we talk about, the posing and how to make the most out of your displays in terms of posing your figures and setting them up nice, and what poses you should use for certain characters and things like that. You can let me know. But this is what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to show you how to pose your figures and just talk about that here today, man. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up for me today, man. Let me know what you think. If you learned something today, leave a like on the video. I greatly appreciate it. Comment down below if you'd like to see an extension of this series or something like that. But I appreciate you guys so very much for watching. A huge shout out to our Patreon members, man. Thank you guys so very much for your continued support. You guys are unbelievable. But I'm getting the hell out of here. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a blessed one, and I'll catch you guys later.